Welcome to TPM Vid's Disney Beat, where we talk about all things Disney. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. We also have Instagram and Twitter. You can find us at TPM Videos. Picture this: Hollywood, Halloween 1939. It's a normal day at the Hollywood Tower Hotel. But that all changes with a little flash of lightning, and suddenly, the most brilliantly engineered attraction at a Disney theme park was born. Past the rows of palm trees and propped up at the end of Sunset Boulevard at Disney's Hollywood Studios, you'll find the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Upon opening in 1994, it was an immediate success, and today it's commonly regarded as one of the best rides Disney has created. It has a great theme, an intriguing way to tell a story, and thrill. But do you think you know everything about the ride? Well, today we're going to take you on a little tour through the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror and discuss its history, the hidden elements throughout the ride, and the system that makes it all work. So be sure to keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside as we count down the top 10 secrets of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Number 10. The First. Construction on the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror began in 1992 as part of the Sunset Boulevard expansion at Hollywood Studios. It took 3 million pounds of steel and 145,000 cubic feet of concrete to create this 199-foot masterpiece. This was the first version of the Tower of Terror Disney created, and when it was done, it was the most technologically complex ride Disney had built at the time. Tower of Terror officially opened with the entire Sunset Boulevard strip on July 22, 1994. Making it the tallest building at Walt Disney World. Today, Expedition Everest beats that record by just half an inch. Now, many people are under the impression that Tower of Terror has been removed, but this is not true. Well, at least not in Florida. In May of 2004, the second version of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror opened at Disney California Adventure. This is the version of Tower of Terror that's been replaced by Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout.
That was not part of the plan!
But the Tower of Terror at Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World is still alive and well. Number 9. Winding Paths.
Right this way.
Have you ever walked through the outdoor queue and felt this uneasy feeling? Sure, the landscape's overgrown, and the infrastructure shows signs that the hotel's been abandoned for quite some time. Those may be some reasons why you may feel uneasy, but next time, pay attention to the curved walkways that lead up to the hotel. Imagineers designed these walkways to be slightly tilted at around a 2 to 4 degree angle as opposed to being completely flat. This was done to evoke a sense of disorientation as you're walking up to the attraction. Even if you take a look at the ledges, they continuously dip and turn at different elevations. So the winding paths, in addition to the elevation changes and the tilted angle of the ground, all work together to set up this bizarre Twilight Zone story that you're about to take part in. It's a minor detail that tricks your mind, but now that you're aware, pay attention to what you see and how you feel as you walk through the queue on your next trip. Number 8. Stop, Pull, and Drop. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror is classified as a drop tower ride. But here's a little secret: you're not actually dropping. While reaching a top speed of up to 39 miles per hour, you're actually traveling slightly faster than freefall speeds as you plunge down 130 feet. The mechanics of the ride actually pull you down using a series of cables below the elevator. So you aren't dropped at all, you're actually being pulled. Initially, when the ride opened in 1994, there was only one big drop, then the ride ended. But over the years, Disney has plussed the experience. In May of 1996, a second full drop was added to the ride. Then in March of 1999, 30% more time was added to the drop shaft. This included a third drop and enhanced effects. You felt a lot more shaking in the elevator with greater acceleration, as well as different lighting effects and show elements. Then on December 31st, 2002, Disney introduced the randomized drop patterns, which are still in use today. 4 different ride profiles were created, each with different drops, acceleration sequences, and stops, plus different show elements. You never know which profile you'll get, so the experience varies every time you ride. One thing you can count on, though, is that you'll get that bird's-eye view of the park and get your picture taken. So try not to scream as you say cheese. Number 7. Lucky 13. Although we're on lucky number 7, the number 13 is pretty significant with Tower of Terror. Many people fear the number 13, and it's usually considered pretty unlucky. A lot of buildings don't even have a 13th floor. So it definitely fits the eerie vibe of the Tower of Terror. The first sight of 13 you might spot is right here. When you're walking up to the attraction and see that it has a 13-minute wait, it's actually a good thing, and this means that the ride has no wait at all. The 13-minute wait is also used at the Haunted Mansion. Then once you enter the lobby, you'll find this concierge desk on the right-hand side. Behind the desk, there's a AAA plaque that was awarded to the Hollywood Tower Hotel, but they gave the hotel 13 diamonds. The highest diamond rating AAA actually gives out is only 5, so something definitely isn't right. Then once you board your elevator, you're taken up to the 13th floor, then dropped 13 stories. So there is no escaping the number 13 on the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Number 6. Otis. Did you know that one of the largest elevator companies actually had a hand in designing Tower of Terror? Well, the attraction's ride system is separated into 2 parts: the elevator shafts and the actual ride vehicles themselves. Disney developed the Autonomous Guided Vehicles, or AGV for short, and the Otis Elevator Company, who manufactures commercial elevators, developed the mechanics for the elevator shafts. They actually had to design a completely new elevator system since their fastest elevator model was too smooth for Disney. Imagineers were looking for that fast, gut-wrenching weightlessness experience, which was pretty much the complete opposite of what Otis had spent years trying to avoid. So instead, they came up with a system that uses a much larger motor and a series of cables to pull the elevator down, and this is what achieves that weightlessness effect. Now, the ride has 6 elevator shafts in total. The 4 shafts highlighted in gray are the lift shafts, and these bring guests from the load area into the 5th dimension. Once you're on this floor, the AGV breaks free from the elevator in the lift shaft and is guided by a wire into one of the 2 drop shafts. Now, the AGV actually slides into a frame in each of the shafts and locks into place. So the frame in the shaft is actually the component that's being raised and lowered, not the physical ride vehicle itself. Number 5. A real hotel. Although the Hollywood Tower Hotel isn't a real hotel guests can stay in at Walt Disney World, Imagineers drew inspiration from real hotel landmarks in Southern California. The Mission Inn, located in Riverside, California, was built between 1902 to 1932. This is where a lot of the Spanish and Gothic-style influence on the Tower of Terror comes from. Details such as the spires on the top of the building to the clay terracotta roof, right down to the twisted columns of the courtyard, can all be found in the attraction. Even the pink flowers hanging off the railings at the Mission Inn are used in Florida to complement the tower's design. This Spanish style of architecture and the color of the building were also chosen to help blend Tower of Terror into the sightline of the Morocco Pavilion from across the lagoon at Epcot. Now, the Mission Inn was the inspiration for the outside, but the inside of the hotel lobby was based off the Biltmore Hotel in Los Angeles. From the dome-shaped frame right down to the roof panels, these design elements are all evident in Tower of Terror. Imagineers even went as far to use the hexagon shape of the fountain centerpiece in the attraction. Although it's not a fountain, this wooden centerpiece in the Tower of Terror lobby uses the hexagon shape while mimicking the proportions and the levels of a water fountain. Number 4. Authentic props. A lot of the time with props and set dressings on Disney attractions, you never know what's real or what was made with the help of a little Disney magic. Well, beneath all the dust and the cobwebs of the lobby, you'll find many era-specific items that are actually real. A lot of the furniture are authentic pieces purchased from auctions and antique shops in the LA area. Even some of the sculptures in the lobby are actually from 19th century sculptor Auguste Moreau. Each section of the lobby uses these authentic pieces to tell a story, like the mahjong pieces that were just abandoned during mid-game, or the luggage of a guest that was in the middle of checking in. Fun fact, these alligator skin luggages found on the ground are real, and were actually used in the pre-show video. The bellhop was carrying these luggages into the elevator. Oh, and that little girl is also holding a 1930s era Mickey Mouse doll. Even the lighting fixtures in the lobby are authentic. They all came from a building of similar size, age, and style as the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Number 3. Hot webs. There is no escaping the cluster of cobwebs in the hotel lobby. They're hung off everything. Now, have you ever used the hot glue gun and struggled with getting those annoying strings of glue off of you? Well, that's exactly what these cobwebs are made out of. It's a common practice used in film and TV production, which uses compressed air to shoot webs of hot glue. This footage here was taken the day after new cobwebs were added to the attraction, and when the light hits it at just the right angle, it's easy to see the plastic appearance of the strands. Over time, they naturally collect dust, making their appearance much more matte and therefore more realistic. Now, since the cobwebs aren't permanent, they do wear and break apart over time, so they're replaced and touched up every couple months. You can see here in this picture that around the lamp on the concierge desk, there aren't many cobwebs visible, but in this picture, taken the day after they dirtied up the place, the cluster of webs is much thicker and covers the entire desk. Number 2. Illusions. Disney's all about creating magic. There's many magical illusions and tricks that bring the theme parks alive. The corridor show scene appears to be a long hallway, but really it's forced perspective at work. To give off the illusion that this is a full-length corridor, the opening is about 10 feet high, but then the back only reaches about 4 feet. To give you an idea of size, this scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory demonstrates the effectiveness of this effect. Another illusion used is the Pepper's Ghost effect. This allows the 5 missing elevator passengers to magically appear in the hallway. This simple yet effective illusion has been around since 1862, and it's all about using a piece of glass on a 45-degree angle right here. On the other side of this wall, there's an area where the hologram of the passengers is reflected onto the glass. The Pepper's Ghost effect is also used to allow the window to float forward, then shatter in the same scene. Number 1. Rod Serling Returns. Tower of Terror takes you right into your very own episode of The Twilight Zone. Each episode of the TV show was hosted by Rod Serling. Now, since he passed away in 1975, Imagineers relied on a little TV magic to create an intro that matched the attraction. They took an old intro from the Twilight Zone episode titled It's a Good Life and made a composite of just Rod Serling without the background.
Tonight's story on the Twilight Zone is somewhat unique and calls for a different kind of introduction. This, as you may recognize, is a map of the United States.
They hired voice actor Mark Silverman to impersonate Rod Serling. He was approved to do the voice by Rod Serling's wife. He synced his voice to the original intro from the TV show and also recorded the rest of the voiceover.
Tonight's story on the Twilight Zone is somewhat unique and calls for a different kind of introduction.
Silverman's voice on top of the old footage mixed with the new footage made for a seamless intro, and to this day, it's probably one of the most iconic pre-shows in a Disney attraction. So there you have it. Those are some secrets in history of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Now, what's your favorite detail in the attraction? And were you surprised with any of the facts in this video? I'd love to know. Leave a comment down below to start a conversation, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching! Click the TPM icon on the screen to subscribe to this channel, and check out some of these other videos which we're sure you'll like.